Hi everyone, my name is Olga Cardamone and I'm the CEO of Eagle Travel Tours to Russia. Due to the quarantine for the last several weeks, I've been entertaining myself by making videos about the Romanovs, who were our Russian royal family. My last video was about Catherine the Great and how she managed to become the Russian Empress. If you watched that video, you probably understood that her way to the throne was really difficult, but she was a well-educated woman with great communication skills, and the people who helped her get the throne really realized that if she was to become the empress, she would make great decisions. So in this video, I'm going to share with you what happened during the rule of Catherine the Great, as well as tell you some details from her everyday life. And this is actually what we're going to start with. I have my favorite book here by Montefiore about the Romanovs, and here's a description of what Catherine the Great's day looked like. She received ministers in the morning and drafted her decrees. At 11 a.m. she performed her toilette, entertained Orlov, and often went on a walk with just him, her beloved greyhounds, and a couple of ladies in waiting. After lunch at 1, she worked in her apartments until 6, the lover's hour, when she received Orlov before dressing for a gala, a court day on Sundays, the theater Mondays and Thursdays, or a masquerade ball on Saturdays. On these occasions, Catherine, who understood the power of splendor, projected her grandeur to Europe. She retired with Orlov and liked to be in bed by 11. So Catherine the Great was actually the first Russian monarch since Peter the Great who spent her days actually working and not just partying, hunting, or building beautiful palaces. So what did she actually manage to get done? Well, the first thing that Catherine the Great did was to extend the borders of Russia. During her rule, Russia actually became the biggest country in Europe. We had 2 wars with Turkey, as a result of which we gained access to the Black Sea. And during Catherine's rules, there were also the partitions of Poland, as a result of which Russia managed to gain some lands in the west. Do you remember Poniatowski, Catherine's former lover? Well, at some point, he became the king of Poland, of course not without Russia's help. Anyway, speaking of what happened in the country, Catherine the Great believed that she was an enlightened monarch. She read a lot of works by Voltaire, Rousseau, Montesquieu, and she even exchanged letters with some of them. And she truly believed that the education in Russia had to be developed. So during Catherine's rule, the school system started to develop, and she paid special attention to women's education. She founded a school for girls called Smolny Institute, where girls would learn things like science, good manners, art, music, and when they graduated from that school, they would become ladies in waiting. Anyway, these are some of the great things that Catherine the Great did, but unfortunately her rule was not all positive. It actually was the worst time for serfs in our country. During Catherine the Great's rule, people could still own serfs. They could gift serfs to each other, they could sell serfs, and they could even send serfs to jail. And Catherine the Great passed a law forbidding serfs from suing their owners. So basically, they had no rights. And that led to the Serf War, which started in 1773 and was led by a man whose name was Yemelyan Pugachev. He was an imposter, and he claimed to be Catherine's late husband, Peter III. He claimed that she tried to kill him, but didn't manage to, and he was on his way to St. Petersburg to claim the throne. He gathered an army of serfs, and they would capture towns or aristocratic estates and kill aristocratic families. It's believed that they killed approximately 1,600 aristocrats during this uprising. It lasted for 2 years, but then it was stopped. But Catherine was really afraid of imposters and rebels. And there was one more in Europe. There was a lady who claimed that she was a daughter of the deceased Empress Elizabeth. and that she really had the right to the throne. Catherine the Great decided to put an end to this. She sent Count Orlov to Europe, where he seduced this woman, brought her to Russia, where she was put in prison in Peter and Paul's fortress, and she died in prison. Anyway, as you can see, the rule of Catherine the Great was a really contradictory one. On one hand, great things happened in the country. We established ourselves as the biggest country in Europe, where education and culture were developing. On the other hand, Catherine the Great's rule was really favorable for some and unbearable for others. Well, one thing that I didn't mention in this video was Catherine the Great's family life. She had a son with whom she didn't have a great relationship, and she even managed to meet her own grandkids. She helped raise them, and 2 of them later became Russian emperors. Of course, I'm going to cover this in my future videos, so please stay tuned. Make sure to subscribe to my channel, and if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section. Thank you for watching. Bye!